In this topic, you will learn how to develop the domestic travel itinerary.
Hello everyone. Today I would like to talk about the process to develop the travel itinerary. Okay, the first one is pick your destination. The first step of travel planning is, of course, picking your destination. This will usually be an easy step if you have already booked your flight or you know want to traveling to a certain place. If you are not sure where you will be going, you should do some research online for fun new destination to try. Your destination choice will affect your itinerary a lot. Planning a trip to a large city, for example, is usually more work than setting up an itinerary for a beach vacation. If you are planning to see multiple places on one trip, now is the time to consider how long you want to spend in each day. Second, decide your time frame. If you are planning a big trip, you will most likely have limited time available. It's important to keep in mind how much time you will have to see a place when you are planning your itinerary. There is no use in planning a big trip when you only have a few days, so set up your itinerary wisely. Okay. The third process to develop the travel itinerary is consider where you are staying. Booking your accommodation and doing research for what you want to do in a certain place should go hand in hand. You don't want to blindly book a hotel or hostel in a new city without knowing first where the main attractions are. Consider your budget and always check if the accommodation you are choosing is close to public transport. If you are not too worried about your budget, so you might be staying in a really nice hotel or apartment. For resort style trips, you will want to keep in mind that you might be spending a considerable amount of time at your hotel. This is important when you plan your itinerary so that you don't end up missing out on the amazing amenities you are paying for. Agoda or Booking.com or even Airbnb is the best deal of the accommodations and hotel platform. So I would suggest that you click the link of the website that I mentioned just now to book and plan your next big trip. Fourth, do the research and look at examples. Now that you know where you are going, where you are staying, and for how long, it's time to do some research on the destination you are seeing. This is where travel blog can be incredibly helpful. The advantage of doing travel research and planning online is that you can always find up-to-date and relevant information. Plus, you can make use of reviews from people who have already been there. All of these are free. Googling what to do in or things to do in is really helpful and will show you tons of fun activities and must-see places. Looking at example of the itinerary will also really help you get an idea of what is realistic to see in one day. Okay, the next process is make a list. Next, we love to make a big list of all the things we are interested in seeing on our trip. This can be a very rough list with places you come across during your research. You can keep adding to it as you go. This list will be really helpful to organize yourself and make sure you are not missing out on anything. If you feel up for it, you can create a subsection for places to eat, which will be really helpful to refer to later if you're struggling to find a place for lunch or dinner. So what I can conclude for this process is you have to make sure you plan your trip with your list that you want to go. The next process is look at transport. Your next job is to look at your map and find out how far apart everything is and how you are going to get from point A to point B. Some distances you may be able to walk. For others, you might need public transport or a car. Don't forget about places that are further away and might require a day trip. If that is the case, and you will be spending an entire day getting to one attraction, you might want to look at other places of interest nearby. That way, you can see more things at once and get the most out of your trip. The next process is set priorities. Unfortunately, travelers rarely have enough time to see everything they want to see. It is likely that your list of things to do is too long and you will have to set some priorities. At this point, it is really useful to color code your list to get an idea of what you don't want to miss and what you could maybe leave out. You can still keep these ideas in your list for your next trip. Okay, the last process is after you consider those processes I mentioned just now, you will need to plan your itinerary. Lastly, you finally have all the tools you need to set up your itinerary. Gather the point on your map into little groups of things you want to do in one day. Do some research on how long you will approximately be spending at each one and what realistic to do in a day. Plan the things that are important to you first and add the others around them. Give big attraction their own day and don't plan to see the most important thing on the last day in case you can't for some reason. Most importantly is don't stress yourself out too much and avoid over planning. Here are some tips to keep in mind while you are planning your itinerary.